What's up, y'all? I finally got a chance to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie, so here's my review. I will be talking about spoilers, so long story short, I gave this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It's exactly what I expected, to be honest. Even with knowing that there was a lot of hate going into this movie, I went in with an open mind, and I left thinking, meh, I had just as much fun as I did with the first movie. Super Mario Galaxy does improve on some stuff in the first movie, but also repeats some of the same mistakes in an arguably worse way. First, let's get the bad out of the way before I talk about the good. The pacing is around the same as the first movie, which I also had a gripe with. It was fine until after the fight with Bowser Jr. and the castle lands into the Bee Planet. Then it's the same breakneck speed pacing as the first movie. The pacing is around the same as the first movie, which I also had a gripe with. It was fine until after the fight with Bowser Jr. and the castle lands into the Bee Planet. Then it's the same breakneck speed pacing as the first movie. Another thing is that it tries to put so many themes in the movie, but it doesn't really deliver on them in any impactful way. At least in the first movie, it was just two: believing in yourself when others don't, and being there for your family. It did the bare minimum to deliver on those two, but it did get the job done. But in this movie, you have Bowser worried about how his son sees him, to him being conflicted about being good or evil, Peach's dilemma with not knowing who her family is, and my least favorite, Mario and Peach's romance attempt, which is funny because a few months ago Nintendo did confirm that they were just friends. Everything feels rushed and the conclusions to each of them feel half-baked, except for some of the Bowser and Bowser Jr. stuff. One last thing, and this isn't really about the movie per se, just people who attack those who don't rate this movie a 10 out of 10. Saying that it's just made for kids does not mean it's excused from criticism. If something's made for babies, that's one thing, but kids are not stupid. Mario games don't have a deep story, yes, and the movie doesn't need to have one. Just take two of the themes and plot points I mentioned before, and the movie already improves, instead of using all of them and then not really delivering on any of them. Having multiple themes and plot points just made the movie messy. And no, that does not mean I need a Shakespearean story filled with the complexities of good and evil, just one that doesn't need multiple plot points and themes that are barely covered. Now that I'm finished with the bad, let's talk about what I loved. I loved every reference the movie had, from soundtrack to other characters like Little Mac running around in the background of Yoshi's city scene. It's a video game movie. I'd be disappointed if there weren't a lot of references. It only becomes a problem if they detract from the actual plot, which it doesn't in this case. Fox and Yoshi were my favorite parts of this movie. Yoshi has always been my favorite Mario character, and every scene with him was a 10 out of 10, and was both glad and sad that he wasn't starting as a baby in this movie, because I just wanted one Mama Luigi reference. I know I mentioned Bowser debating whether he's good or evil, and I'm glad that they didn't have him turn good at the end. I don't want a Bowser that turns good. It just doesn't feel like Bowser then. Every returning actor definitely improved compared to the first movie, and Charlie Day continues to be the best casting decision from Illumination. Fox was amazing in this movie, and I need him to get one of his own pronto, but I just wasn't as hyped to see him as I wanted to be because Nintendo revealed him like a week before the movie released. So to say that I was more hyped to see Mr. Game & Watch than Fox in the movie is an understatement, and Nintendo really sold with that. A big improvement was Mario and Luigi's competency. They don't feel like they're in Peach's shadow this time, and all three of them feel on relatively equal footing when it comes to badassery. And one last thing that I loved was that there were more character interactions, like when Bowser was traveling with Mario and Luigi. It reminded me of the RPG games. Everyone loves Yoshi, and I love that they kept Bowser and Jr.'s dynamic the same as it is in the games. I need more of Fox and Mario, and I feel like we will when we eventually get the Super Smash Bros. Movie. Overall, the movie is enjoyable, and as much as they improved in some areas, it adds one or two downgrades that can take a person out of the movie. But those are just my thoughts. What do y'all think?